I will hold in order to do business with you. They break open your house one time, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. They come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on side. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Dance! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here.
and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So here it is. Amalgamated Workers Union has taken the government 5% wage increase offer. Dendale and the Amalgamated Workers Union signed off on a collective agreement for the 5% salary increase covering the period 2020 to 2022, along with the consolidations of the cost of living allowance COLA effective October 1st, 2023, and another market rate based salary adjustment, the statement said. The CPO also extended his gratitude to the city corporation workers for their unwavering dedication to duty. So Trinidad and Tobago, that is really something, eh? 5% they have taken. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, that is up to the workers. It is up to Amalgamated. That's their thing. We recently heard that the Prime Minister is going to give the nurses an increase in salary also. But over the 9 years, they wasn't talking about paying nurse. They wasn't talking about negotiating with the nurses. Nothing like this. All of a sudden, it's election time. They have all the plans, they have all the money, they're ready to make all the payments after 9 years of what? Suffering. Cost of living sky high. Security is at risk. Medical is at risk. Well, nevertheless, switching gears, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is ready for the April 28, 2025 general election as the TTPS, in collaboration with the Defense Force, will be enforcing a zero-tolerance approach to crime and disorder. This is according to Acting Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin, who read the Riot Act to his officers during a media briefing yesterday at the Police Administration building in Port of Spain. Junior Benjamin.
I am confident that we will continue to have fair and free elections. However, we will be taking a zero tolerance to anyone, any group, any person who would seek to disrupt the peace and tranquility of Trinidad and Tobago while the elections is going on, or even anything leading up to the elections.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, Benjamin called on all political parties to ensure their supporters operate within the legal guidelines, as officers will be at all polling stations to observe the election process. Officers will also be deployed to hotspots. Benjamin.
We want to ask all the parties to really take some time and ensure that persons who are part and parcel of your contingent, that they stay within the given guidelines, and you will hear more about that from the Gold Commander, because we would be really looking seriously at persons who intend to break the law. We will be having officers in the various polling stations, and we will also be having persons, again, set out to look at the different areas where we believe we would be having disruptions, and we are going to ensure that such persons are dealt with. If we found anyone falling foul of the law, we are going to deal with them.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, this is our rights to vote, whether we want the PNM or the UNC. But I want to let you understand something also. After election day, your neighbor will still be your neighbor. Your friends will still be your friends. The same person you travel to work with or you're working with will still be your friend. The taxi driver will still be your friend. The barman will still be your friend. Over the years gone by, we have seen on election day that fights are breaking out. Friends beating friends, friends stabbing friends. Why is this? Because one vote UNC and one vote PNM. Are we that stupid? Are we that stupid to vex with our neighbor over who is governing the country? Are we that stupid of a human being? I'm asking you all tonight. Because over the years gone by, we have seen incidents have been happening. To friends, to family, to neighbors. All because of, oh, this one didn't vote PNM and that one didn't vote UNC. Why? Why is that? Why is that? It happens right here in Trinidad and Tobago. I have seen it. So on election day, my friends, go out, cast your vote, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Because before election, in front you have a pothole, both of all are going on in the same pothole. After election, the pothole is still there, both of you all still going on in the pothole. Let's not be ignorant and foolish. The acting cop said police have received intelligence which suggested plans to disrupt the election but declined to share any further details. So Trinidad and Tobago, again I said, go out, cast your vote, keep it to yourself. Nobody have to know who you voted for. Absolutely nobody. Causing problem in the community makes no sense. Whether you vote UNC, whether you vote PNM, you still have to get up 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work. Have you ever thought about that? You ever thought about that? Your neighbor will still be your neighbor. Whether you and he quarrel which party involved, or which party going and win, or which party you voted for. One thing I want you to understand is that if something happened to you in your workplace, is your colleagues coming to you. If something happened to you in your home, is your neighbors coming to you. Not the UNC party, nor the PNM party. Is your colleagues on work or your neighbors, before anybody. So let's go out there, cast our vote as a human being with a little sense in your head, and then you could be on your journey. It's that simple, Trinidad and Tobago. So listen to this now. Goal Commander for the 2025 general election, Kurt Simon, is reminding citizens of several offenses to avoid during the April 28, 2025 general election. He was speaking during a media briefing yesterday at the Police Administration building in Port of Spain. Listen to Simon.
You are not allowed also to play that type of loud music from that DJ setup system, as we would call it, on election day, on polling day. You are not allowed on polling day to have loudspeakers going around and advertising anything whatsoever, banners and favors and badges. You are not allowed to congregate near and within polling stations. That does not forbid you from being in a line to vote. That is your right. But you are not allowed, after voting, to congregate in or near polling stations. And that is, you're not allowed then to be within the precincts of those buildings. And that would be 100 yards, which is approximately 91 meters. You are not allowed to influence persons to vote on that day. So persons who do campaigning, you can campaign up to Sunday. Those of you who have bars and restaurants and so on, you're not allowed to sell intoxicating liquor during polling. That is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Trinidad and Tobago. You are not allowed to indulge in any illegal voting.
Simon said the police have met with campaign managers from various political parties and urged them to remind their members to conduct themselves properly. He described what the public can expect from TTPs on polling day. Simon.
On polling day, Trinidad and Tobago, you would expect to see police officers in all polling divisions and polling stations. You would also see us accompanied by our partners, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. There would be patrols, both mobile and foot, and we are currently even upgrading our logistics efforts as it relates to that.
Viewers, despite the focus on election, policing, Simon said, the police remain committed to its primary mandate of crime suppression and investigation. Simon.
Elections will not take the TTPS away from the issue of crime and dealing with criminal activity. In fact, we have set aside personnel, yes, to deal with elections, and we have our other areas, our other manpower resources that we are using to deal with crime and crime suppression and investigations.
Viewers, Simon said planning and preparation for the 2025 general election began during a state of emergency. So we are all asked by the commissioner and by Simon to act in accordance with your rights. Go out, cast your vote, go back to work. Also on that day, Monday, the 28th of April, election day, I believe each individual is given 2 hours of their job to go cast your vote, come back on work. It's either you do it in the morning period or you do it in the afternoon period. It's your choice. I believe there's also a charge for not giving time off to your workers to go and vote. So remember that, viewers, all businessmen in Trinidad and Tobago, there's a time frame of 2 hours to give to each worker to go and vote. For the workers, it's in the morning period, during the day, or in the afternoon. Whichever way you find it best for you, it's up to you. So let's go and cast our vote on the 28th of April and let it be a safe election throughout the country. I mean, that's the least we can do. If you want change, do it in a nice, civilized manner. Whether you're voting UNC, whether you're voting PNM, I've just played 2 video clips for you from senior officers at the Police Administration building in Port of Spain to let you know what should take place on that day. So, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back from this break, you're going to hear Finance Minister denies billions missing, blame it as software issue. Hey, I'm going to love this when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, the former Minister of Finance, Clongenberg, said no money was missing, was a software problem in Central Bank. They ended up in England with law lords, with the Privy Council, with Jaiwanti Ramdas. Now, Lady Simala asked, why is it that Clongenberg is not being investigated? Fast track to that? Clongenberg now decides now to drop all charges. Present day now, today, listen to this. The new finance minister, Vishnu Danpal, has firmly denied that 2.6 billion was missing in the public accounts of Trinidad and Tobago. Speaking last evening at a PNM rally in St. Joseph, the minister said the matter was caused by a software issue at the central bank and explained that the Treasury simply kept a small float of cash. Danpal.
Nonsense. Rubbish. Money is missing. It went nowhere. It was a technical glitch caused by a software issue that created a problem at the central bank. It has since been corrected by amending the appropriation accounts. Don't let anybody fool you. It is physically impossible to steal 2.6 billion or $2 in the public sector accounts. It is physically impossible. A lot of people here think that the Treasury has a vault with money, billions inside. No, the Treasury has a vault with just a float to change checks on a daily basis.
Danpal, here what you do, relax yourself. I want you to relax yourself. I understand you from finance. I understand that. But I want you to relax yourself. They made it a big issue. You understand? They made it a big issue. They end up in the Privy Council in England. Well, Lady Simala said, after hearing everything, why Clongenberg is not being investigated. So Danpal, relax yourself. I telling you, relax yourself. I want to ask you, how come Jayawanti Ramdas didn't get access, Krongenberg said, was a glitch. The check clearance system. Why it is Jayawanti Ramdas didn't get access to the check clearance system to show Trinidad and Tobago that it was the check clearance system. You're a big man in finance. I am a big man in finance. Krongenberg is a big man in finance. Why didn't the Auditor General Office didn't get access to go to Central Bank to check the check clearance system? When Krongenberg said it was that particular system that caused the money to go missing. Why she didn't go? Because she is the one, Jayawanti Ramdas, is the one to clear up that matter so Trinidad and Tobago will understand that every cent of the taxpayers' dollars have been accounted for. We had a video? Now Trinidad and Tobago. Minister Dan Paul mentioned that no finance ministry has control over the details put into the public account document, which he said was signed off only by those in authority to do so. Listen to this.
Minister of Finance also has no control of what goes into the public accounts. None. In fact, he wouldn't even see the public accounts. He will probably see the Auditor General's report when it gets to Parliament. And I want everybody here to go on the Ministry of Finance's website, finance.gov.tt. Check the Auditor General's report any year going back. There are 4 people who signs the Auditor General report. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, the Comptroller of Accounts, and the Treasury Director, plus the Auditor General.
Again, Dan Paul. Again. Why did Krongenberg just drop everything? Why? Why is it that after Lady Simla in the United Kingdom, in the Privy Council, said after hearing everything, how come Krongenberg is not being investigated? Now understand this, Dan Paul. You is PNM. Krongenberg is PNM. But to all, they're trying to tell Trinidad and Tobago that the money ain't gone missing. And to this date, to this very same date, that I am live on television. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd of April, 2025. And I am saying, how is it that the Auditor General Office, Jayawanti Ramdas, still have not cleared up that with Trinidad and Tobago? The only person that has cleared it is Dan Paul and Imbert. Other than that, nobody else. So how it is now that the Auditor General cannot have access to this department? Let me tell you something. We are asking for access for the whole of Central Bank, you know. We only are asking access to this department, this software, just to clear up for Trinidad and Tobago that the $2.6 billion is not missing. And it is there. And it is accounted for. The only person to arrest Trinidad and Tobago at ease is who? Not you, you know, Dan Paul. Not Krongenberg, you know. But the Auditor General Office. Who is the individual? Jayawanti Ramdas. That is the only person in Trinidad and Tobago could arrest this $2.6 billion. You could say anything, Dan Paul. Krongenberg could say anything. You see, Dan Paul, I want you to understand something. Krongenberg went to Parliament, bring out an amendment and legislation to make sure he was exempted. to make sure, Dan Paul, that Clongenberg was exempted from paying what? Tax. Tax on what? Multi-story dwelling apartment buildings. What did him do again? Property tax. Hold on, Dan Paul. I feel part of the way over the last 2 years, I feel like you was sleeping. I feel like you was sleeping. Clongenberg went to Parliament, brought out an amendment and legislation to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, telling them that if they do not pay property tax, they have committed a criminal offense. And the charges for that is $5,000. So Dan Paul, here's what you do. You mash your brakes right there. You mash your brakes right there. You see, they said the population have no problem paying property tax. They had no problem. That's what they say. But they don't realize the cries of the man on the street. They don't realize how hard that is sometimes. And if you don't pay it, you have committed a criminal offense. What in not paying tax for your property is a criminal offense. Did they rob? Did they steal? Did they smoke illegal marijuana? Did they do cocaine inside the road? Did they jack up somebody? Did they take somebody's car? Did they break into somebody's house? No. No. Let me tell you something. Dan Paul, you ever been hear about me? But I heard a lot about you. But tonight, your friends and your families and your minister friends will tell you about Saieed. Clongenberg. I'm going to hit a little reminder. Clongenberg should have gone up on a platform and said, have a man on TV, only bumping the gum. So I help my living God, he'd end up like the Al Singh in an accident. Me asking you, I'm telling all you. There's the difference. But you know what? Clong smart. He would never say, well, you know what? He'd have a man on TV, and he this and he that. No, Clong see the result where the Al Singh gets. And he heard about the result when they make attempt to kidnap my son. So Dan Paul, before you try to bamboozle the citizens, find out what Clongenberg did. Don't just come out and bamboozle the citizens, because the nation's still thinking $2.6 billion missing. You know why? It's only you and Clongenberg say it was a software issue. Not Jaiwanti Ramdas. Because to this day, she ain't checked it as yet. To confirm to the citizens, that is what happened. So be careful, Dan Paul, about your statements. Because a man like me, so, who have fear, will put all you on the spot. Trust me, I will put you on the spot. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to hear something about forex again. Remember all the time, the country have no forex. Dr. Rowley every year is tighten your belt. So let me hear a little more about forex now when we return from this break.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, just a reminder, Real Talk Financing is giving you 5% on our fixed deposit, viewers. Remember, we are the only licensed financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you 5% on a fixed deposit with your interest up front. So you don't have to wait for 5 years or 10 years or 15 years based on how long you put your fixed deposit for to collect interest. You don't have to wait for the maturity date. We are giving you your interest up front so you can enjoy your hard earnings. You can enjoy the reward of your fixed deposit. The cash that you worked hard for and put away, you're getting to enjoy it before you die. So you won't have to wonder, well, I wonder if I could live to get this benefit. I wonder if I could live to go for a vacation when I get my interest. At Real Talk Financing, once you open a fixed deposit with us, and it's for 5 years or over, you will be getting your interest up front to go for your vacation, to pay down on a new car, to pay medical bills. Yes, only at Real Talk Financing. So viewers, contact our office, set up an appointment, come in, meet with the staff, get all the information you need. Or you can also call me at 339-1670. It's my direct line, and we could have a discussion. Remember, we are the only licensed financial institution is doing that. We are located number 14 Carney Savannah Road in Chaguanas, also 25 Superior Street in San Fernando. The brown building is in Central, and the white building is at Superior Street in San Fernando. So if you're on the Superior Road, or you're in Chaguanas, Carney Savannah Road, you know which building to look for. Trinidad and Tobago, take advantage of the offer. So as we go on another level tonight, forex relief for citizens. Prime Minister Stuart Young have stated that there may be light at the end of the tunnel for average citizens hoping to access foreign exchange, as he revealed that a potential solution has already been identified. They couldn't get his 9 years back, you know. 9 years back, they couldn't get it. While acknowledging that the current earnings less forex exchange than previous years, meaning reduced availability overall. The PM expressed confidence that a workable solution is near. Young added that he wanted to find a way that average citizens could go into a bank and get enough forex to handle their business. Young, I have a question for you. How many times you acted as Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago? How many times we heard former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley saying, there's no forex, we have shortage, we can't even maintain it. How many times? For the last 9 years I've been hearing we have no forex. For the last 9 years I've been hearing boy extra hole in the belt and pull it tighter. I've been hearing take 4% or nothing. Oh, Stuarty, how much your salary increased by? How much percentage? How much percentage, Stuarty? You together with 900 high-ranking individuals got an increase way past 4%. Way past. But let me hear about the forex. Young added that he wanted to find a way that the average citizens could go into the bank and get enough forex to handle their business. Listen to this.
There is an area I've asked the central bank and the Minister of Finance to look at that I think can provide some alleviation in that area. Ultimately, we earn less foreign exchange than we did before. So if we had 20 million available before and now you have 15 million, it means that there is going to be less to allocate. But I want to find a way that, exactly as you said, average citizen could go into the bank, say, look, you might be able to walk out. You're not going to be able to walk out, 50,000, 10,000,
Well, yes.
and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But enough that you could go about and do your business. Do what it is. Make it that little bit easier. There was something that came out of that meeting. I've asked them to pursue it. Because, of course, you need to make sure that, again, is an equitable system. You need to make sure that what you're trying to achieve has the intended purpose when you implement it.
So now, viewers, the PM also weighed in on long-standing public frustration over bank charges, especially among low-income citizens, promising to address the issue. Young emphasized that the focus remained on ensuring that financial system works for the average citizen, not just larger stakeholders. On April 18th, the Ministry of Finance announced that small medium enterprise would now be able to access up to 50,000 per month for international business transaction through the facilitated management by the Export-Import Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, the Exim Bank, a move welcomed by local business group. Listen to this.
That we are introducing through the Exim Bank for small and medium-sized enterprises, for SMEs, we're introducing an allocation to make it a certain amount of foreign exchange, up to 50,000 US, for businesses that qualify, in addition to what your banks, your commercial banks may give you, and that will be distributed through the commercial banks. So whereas before you may have only been able to get access to, you need to pay a bill for 50,000 US, you may have only been able to get access to 50,000 at your bank. Now this initiative that we've come up with, the Exim Bank will provide the additional 50,000.
So I want to ask, between Stuart Young and Dr. Rowley, which one of them was lying? Stuart Young is saying SME could get up to 50,000 per month, while Dr. Keith Rowley is saying we have no US. It's sad, eh? It's shocking. It's sad. It's a disgrace to us, the citizens, to us, the business people. Because now I don't know who's telling the truth between Dr. Rowley and Stuart Young. Because I am a businessman who is in need of forex. Yeah? And that is buy it $7.50 for one. $7.50 TT dollars to $1 US. That is the price I just have to pay. Sometimes $8. So between Stuart Young, Dr. Saieed Ali, and Cloggenberg, who's the former Minister of Finance, which one of them was lying to the citizens? Which one of them lying to the citizens now? And that's the problem right there. So Trinidad and Tobago, while some of you all will say, Saieed, you're bashing PNM, I will always stand here and say, if you understand what I am bringing to you, you would swallow that word you're saying. You would swallow what you're saying. So I want you to answer this now. Who's lying? Imbut, Saieed Ali, or Stuart Young? Stuart Young is only Prime Minister for a few weeks. SME, you have access to 50,000 US per month. All of a sudden, where I come from? I thought they didn't have no money. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. Good thing I here to open all your eyes, you know. Good thing I here to open all your eyes. Let's see why God has blessed me. Let's see why this go from strength to strength in business. Let's see why I'm in finance. So you all will not be fooled as a nation, as a people who live in Trinidad and Tobago. So we're going up to health now. The Minister of Health and PNM candidate for Arangwa St. Joseph, Terence Dialsing, is warning young black men in constituency about black vans offering drugs, alcohol, money, and he even said bullets. I believe we have the proper video now.
So to the young men of Arangwa St. Joseph, specifically the young men, your future is in your hands, and the country future lies in your hands. There are two black pickups driving through the constituency. And in those two black pickups, they are bringing bags of money. They are bringing weed, Hennessy, and bullets. I want to ask the young men of this country, and Arangwa St. Joseph in particular, is it worth it? Rude boy, is it worth it? Are you going to sell your soul and the soul of this country for rude boy, ganja, $5,000? When the money and ganja and the rude boy is finished, what is your future?
So I want to talk about Dialsing and telling the young black men, Dialsing, I black, you black, your children black. Trinidad and Tobago is with blacks. They talk about young black men. I just straight Indian, but I'm born in Trinidad. I didn't born in a white man country. I am a black man. So correction, let me correct you there one time. Let me, Saieed Ali, who is an Indian, just like yourself, who is an Indian, we black. We black, are born in Trinidad. Trinidad Africans born in Trinidad. When you talk about you young black men, you lost in the marbles or you guys senile? Which one? So since you're addressing them as a young black men and about losing their souls, when we go in the bloody hell hospital and we sit down on a chair and we vomiting and we weak and we fainting away and we can't see a doctor or the mother in hell you call that Terence, you're talking about a soul? Terence, how they call that? The same young black men we are asking about their souls when they go in the health center or when they go in the hospital. Those young black men, their mother, their father, their grandmother, their child mother. Some of them is can't see doctor for the day. Some of them had to wait days for a bed. Well, don't talk. When we go to the hospital, it's only Panadol. Where you have a headache, take Panadol. Where you have a diarrhea, take Panadol. Where you have your belly hurting, take Panadol. Your eye hurting, take Panadol. The other thing talking about young black men, I side as a black man in Trinidad and Tobago. So you see, from the time you start to talk about the black man and the black man and the black man, you're referring to Saieed, because I born in Trinidad. I didn't born in a white man country. I am a black Indian in Trinidad. Let me say it like that then. Tall man, are correct? Are correct? I had two or three Africans working with me. And we just sit down and eat together in the same plate. If I'm a duck roti, I cut it in two and you take one, I take one. It all depends on if the people have enough to give me 2 duck roti. So when I hear ministers going up on Facebook and social media platform and spreading them kind of stinking gospel coming out through their mouth, let me tell you something. I will put you on the spot one time. One time I'm putting you on the spot. So concerning the black the van and them, St. Joseph, Sawa, St. Joseph, is the police in the Sawa area. You have a police station? Around St. Joseph. And you have a police station around west? A substation, correct. Somewhere down by amalgamated building, somewhere down there. On the main road. Good. So Terence Singh, with your information you have, did you lodge a report? Terence, did you lodge a report or a complaint in the police station? Terence, let me tell you something. You see, when they started talking about black man in Trinidad, you're talking about Saieed too, eh? Because my children born in Trinidad, there is black children too. They were born in Europe, they were born in England, they were born in Canada. They're born in a third world country. I ain't know if your children born outside, you know. But I know mine is a black child in Trinidad. He alleged that the party sharing these items was offered to you, given a high for 1 day, and eat our food for a week, while he's offering opportunities for employment and self-development. Listen to Terence.
As compared to what I am offering you, skills training, agriculture, to become a linesman, to operate a forklift, so that you could be independent and feed yourself and your family for a lifetime, as opposed to what the UNC is offering you to give you a high for 1 day and to eat a food for a week. When that money is finished, young men of around West St. Joseph, what is your future? Where are you going with that? Stick with Terence Singh and the PNM, because I have a future with you with skills training. With skills training, so that you become the man that you want to be and a man that your families can be proud of. Vote for the PNM.
Terence, how you was dancing on the stage? How you was dancing on the stage? And I watch him. You as the Minister of Health, the health system in Trinidad and Tobago is like toilet flushing. So before you promise anybody work, tell Trinidad and Tobago what you did for the health care of Trinidad and Tobago for the last 9 years, and then come out and make a promise. Other than that, keep your tail between your leg and zip your mouth. I say telling you that. Come out for it tonight, you know. I come out for it tonight. But nevertheless, switching gears. Oilfield Workers Trade Union OWTE President Ansel Roger have stated that any deal signed close to the general election will not be honored by a future UNC government. This after Trinidad Petroleum Holding Limited confirmed it was continuing negotiation with Nigerian energy company Oando to restart the Point-a-Pierre refinery. Look at this.
No deal that is settled on the eve of the election will be honored by the next government, which is the UNC government and the coalition. None at all. It is corrupt, and it is not unlike the PNM to be engaging in corrupt deals. They have neglected the place for 9 years, and now on the eve of an election, they want to tie up some deal to fool the people. Well, the people's eyes are open and so on, and we are seeing things differently.
So Trinidad, I just want to say one thing on this platform. If UNC wins election, let's just hope that if they do get someone to run the refinery, to open and operate and function the refinery, let's hope that that individual background is not like the last two previous we had before. Some kind of cookery hookup. Let's hope it's not like that. Moving along. UNC candidate Ernesto Quesar is confident in his winning for the Point 14 seat in the April 28, 2025 general election. Speaking during a walkabout in Point 14 yesterday in support of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, Quesar said, when elected into government, he will ensure the necessary changes needed to the constituency will be made. Listen to this.
When we get into government, we are going to make sure that these basic things that are the rights of citizens are fulfilled. Water, lights, proper drainage, proper roads for all of the citizens in our constituency of Point 14.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, for all my years, I've been hearing promises and promises and promises upon promises. And I have seen where water haven't reached people for the last 40, 50 years, but promises. I have seen potholes in road remain for 20 years. Government come, government go, and the potholes still right there. It's still there. I have heard WASA, 24-hour water supply throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you, I've been hearing that since Donkey talking. Now Donkey stop talking. Just now they will start back to talk. That's how long. But nevertheless, OWTE President Ansel Roger spoke to the lack of employment opportunity that continue to be a challenge. Roger.
What we observe in Point 14 here for the young people is an issue of jobs. So there are a significant number of persons unemployed in Point 14 in an area, an oil-rich town, in an area where there is vast potential to create the type of revenue and economic activity to put people to work. And what we are going to do is to put back all of these idle wells back into production, raise the production, because the PNM, by shutting down Petrotrin, the production has fallen.
Now viewers, one asked Roger about his thoughts concerning UNC candidate 4.14, Ernesto Quesar. This is what Roger had to say.
This candidate, Comrade Ernesto Quesar, is unlike any other candidate in the past. All right? He has never been given the opportunity to go into government to deliver. Comrade Quesar, all his life, has been fighting for people, fighting for workers' rights, fighting for workers' jobs, fighting to ensure that workers get a fair day's pay for their fair day's work. That has been his legacy.
Trinidad and Tobago, for the last 8 years, we almost at the end of our show. We just have our 3 or 4 minutes again. For the last 8 years, I have stood here. Strong, vibrant, firm, without fear. Bringing the truth to you. The whole truth. Whether it's video, whether it's document, whether it's new release, whether it's something cooking up in our corner, whether it's busting our ass. I have brought it to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, without fear. And for the last 8 years, I give God thanks for extended business, for not having to beg anyone to run an ad on this program to support it. I have stood here. I've gotten backlash from the public. Oh, Saieed, you're bashing this party, you're bashing that party, you're bashing the next party. But my job on this program holds people in office accountable. Because they don't like to be in the media with their name and their pictures. They don't like to be showcased. But I will tell you something. When you offer yourself to be a public person, I side will hold you responsible. Trust me, I will. And I've been doing that for the last 8 years. And for the last 8 years, we have gotten the reports of the #1 current affairs program voted by the people. Voted by the people. So viewers, we have come to the end of our program, but nevertheless, a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. We'll be right back here in the night for another show, Real Talk with Saieed, as we go live again. Until, good night.